Hello everyone, welcome back to Newtype Netplay. My name is Razan. Have some more Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme vs. Maxi Boost on gameplay here for us to watch. The title of this game never stops being fun to say, if I do say so myself. I would like to reiterate that this is footage from 6 months ago from the open beta. And I want to reiterate that, especially for this episode, because, ooh, this is going to be hard to get through for me personally. I discussed last time, I think, how, it was kind of nostalgic or fun to look back at my old matches when I was still but an MBON tadpole, and now I've matured since then to a squishy MBON adult frog. I don't like where this metaphor is going. I'm gonna stop this dead in its tracks. But you get what I'm saying, It's just kind of fun watching you as a beginner playing old matches, or at least that's what I thought it would be as I watched last episode's matches. But be prepared to cringe this episode, especially if you are moderately okay at MBON. Feel free to laugh at my expense watching the matches that I'm about to show off in this video, because, not gonna bullshit, they're pretty rough. As I discussed last episode, this episode was me deciding to play some more melee and close quarters oriented suits to try to get myself more comfortable playing a bit more aggressively and at a closer range, and just learning how to melee in this game. And that was something that I'm really happy I decided to do, because as you can see, I really did not know how to do that when I recorded these matches. And you're going to see me get slowly better and things start to click into place a little bit, but even my best matches in this video are still full of stuff that made me side-eye a little bit, my past play. But, we all got to start somewhere. It's important to remember that. I can't be too hard on my past self. We got to be proud about what we once were so that we can be proud of what we've achieved along the way, even if, it's kind of hard to look back at the embarrassing moments of the past, but, it made us who we are today, so why shy away from it, right? So, yeah, you're gonna see in this match is actually a pretty good showcase of kind of the concerns I'm talking about here, or just the embarrassment that I had watching this video back and looking at all these matches before I started recording. I went, oh geez, I just did not know what I was doing. You could just tell I was very unfamiliar with the melee tool sets of the suits I was playing, which is to be expected, because online resources weren't really fully there yet, or at least they were kind of tricky to find for players who were, just coming into it for the first time, unless you, I'm sure full boost stuff was still around and all that, but it took a little bit for the maxi boost stuff to start coming out and being shared. So I didn't really know my movesets all that well. I just didn't have a good sense for when to go in, when to back off. Even when you play basically any melee-oriented suit you play in this game, you still need to play the range game at least a little bit, even if your suit doesn't really have much in terms of ranged play. Like even the Epion, which is all melee attacks basically, you still need to know how to move around and how to poke out enemies at mid-range. And with Barbados Lupus here, that can be tricky because basically your entire ranged moveset, I believe, they're all physical projectiles, which will get destroyed by anything that's like a laser attack or like an AoE type attack. And thankfully, I got the most embarrassing great this match of all time, because I killed the enemy twice. I didn't really play that great, but the Sinanju ended up killing the Noble Gundam and costing them the game. Always embarrassing when you get a team kill in this game and then the camera zooms in on you and reveals the shame. It happens to the best of us. There are plenty of times that I've lost our teams the match because I was a little gung-ho and wasn't paying attention and I accidentally killed my partner. Never a good feeling. You hate to see it happen, but yeah, I'm sure when I first edited this video, I threw that in because I was like, oh hey, this is a match where I got a great, but looking at it now as someone who's just a little more familiar with playing melee suits in this game, I just look at that match and I was like, oh my god, the fact I ever thought that was something that I wanted to share with someone is really embarrassing. But so this match actually is, well, first of all, it's laggy as fuck, unfortunately. Thank God this game eventually got updated to reveal the connection, both the connection type and also the connection status between all the players in the game before the match started. But yeah, you can see me going for the smashy dual mace attack I love so much with the Barbados Lupus. I just love this move, and it's also a really great move to use if you just want to trust your partner to go in on the other person. Just make sure that the enemy is out of their hair for a little bit as they focus on the other person. It's just a fun attack to land. So this match, compared to the first two in this video, I think you can see me starting to figure out a little bit more when I should be going in for melee attacks, when I should be doing my ranged attacks and stuff like that. The pieces are starting to somewhat click into place. I have a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, and maybe I got like 4 pieces connected, and I'm like, okay, this is a foundation. I can work with this. And you can see here my HP is running low, and I'm pretty proud of this, actually. Good job, past me. Instead of rushing in and probably costing us the game, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna try to poke out the poking out the enemy here and seeing if I can win us the game. And thankfully, I caught the landing with my big cannon, and I was able to do just that. So that was a pretty good match overall, I think, for where I was at skill level wise when I recorded that. So I first started watching back this video like minutes ago before I started recording this, and I watched those first 2 matches. I was like, oh, this is going to be hard to get through. But I got to that one, and I remember thinking, okay, no. Okay, this isn't going to be all completely bad. It's just going to be a little embarrassing. Yeah, the Barbados Lupus is a really good suit, in my opinion, to learn the melee stuff with. It does have the disadvantage, unfortunately, that the you know, your ranged attacks are very easily eaten up, especially by mobile suits here like the Reborn's Gundam that can just shoot lasers everywhere and have a ridiculous amount of ammo. Though I guess the one disadvantage is that there are more dedicated melee suits that focus a little bit more on explicitly melee combat than the Barbados Lupus does. Like the Lupus, you still have a few ranged attacks and stuff you can rely on, and like an assist and stuff, I believe. Oh, wait, maybe I don't have an assist, actually. Maybe I'm thinking of another suit, but I can't remember at this point anymore. But I don't see it on the list anyways, at least. So yeah, I don't think you have an assist with Lupus. It's been a while since I've played it. But, you know, there's stuff like the Epion or the Death Scythe that are just a little more melee-oriented. So if you want to really learn how to do melee and really have to rely on just your physical attacks and stuff like that, there are some better suits to check out. But I think for someone who's trying to transition as like a mid-range player that just kind of playing the all-round beginner-friendly suits to something that's going to get you used to doing melee combat, I actually think Lupus is a pretty good suit to pick to make that kind of learn the ropes a little bit. That was also a pretty solid match for what it was. Happy with that one too. Reborns is very scary in this game. Reborns is actually, I believe, the here, let me look. And oh yeah, here, I didn't cut this out for whatever reason, but I switched to the 00 Gundam, which is a fun mobile suit. Here, let me just look at the tier list. But yeah, this is what the little loading area looks like, if you were curious. For whatever reason, I don't know why I didn't cut that out. Maybe I just wanted to show off the tool set. But yeah, if I recall, Reborns is the only S-tier suit in this game. Reborns is really fucking good. In the hands of a capable player, Reborns is a problem. It's just very challenging to deal with. Whenever you see a Reborns on the enemy team, you should be a little afraid. Tread the waters carefully. So 00 is very cool because it swaps between 2 modes. I should probably try. I feel like I say this a lot with all these beginner matches, but there's a lot of suits that I tried out when I was first learning this game, and just haven't gone back to since, and 00 is definitely one of them. For one thing, I just love the 00. It's low-key one of my favorite protagonist Gundam designs. I know a lot of people prefer the Exia to the 00, and I definitely get that. Especially, man, that perfect grade Exia looks really fucking killer. I don't know if I'll ever build it, just because, I don't know, I kind of avoid perfect grades and stuff because space is a problem and that price, but perfect grade Exia is pretty fucking good looking. But yeah, I really like the 00's design a lot. It's definitely one of my favorite Gundam designs, for sure. Really bad use of my super there. This match in particular, a lot of fumbling of me just attacking at the wrong time, leaving myself wide open. This was one of my earlier matches with the 00, to be fair, so I think I was still getting used to the moveset. Double O has plenty of assists, though, thankfully. Actually, it shares an assist. And actually, there's one thing I don't think I've ever covered that I probably should. Sometimes you have a special ability that will actually change what the move is depending on what direction you're pressing when you input the button combination for it, or the macro for it. So, like, for instance, Setsuna's Double O here, you have a special, I want to say it's the special shooting. It might be, I don't remember what exactly it is. I'm pretty sure it's the special shooting, at least. But the assists that you call out will be different depending on, and also that Hail Mary super right at the end there saved my ass really hard. I was not playing good that match, but whatever. I was playing good enough. Actually, attack score is pretty good for what it was. I'm being too hard on myself, but I need to stop cutting myself off here and finish my thoughts. Yeah, your assist will change depending on what direction you're pressing when you hit the macro for that move. But yeah, the Double O is cool because it has two different modes that it changes between. It switches between the Double O and the Double O Riser. When you have Double O Riser active, you just have a better moveset overall, and you can kind of go in harder. But you can only stay in Double O Riser mode for so long, and then it has a long cooldown. So you kind of are moving in and out as a kind of like mid-range unit to be, you're kind of switching off between mid-range unit and trying to keep distance, and then also a mid to close range unit once the Riser form's active. So you may have noticed the UI change here as I started playing Barbados base form here. And, whenever you look up MBON gameplay from really good players, they always have the cool, fancy UIs that you can purchase in the in-game shop, and they have the fully customized UI look and all that, and I tried going for that here and experimenting, like, oh, maybe let me try the blue one out, and what I eventually just kind of settled on is I don't really like, I don't know, a lot of the UI stuff that you can do in MBON just doesn't appeal to me. I just like the clean default look. It just appeals to me more than any of this shit does. So I tried it out for a bit and tried to convince myself that I liked it, but, I think I was a little bit afraid of being boring, but eventually I was just like, just give me the regular UI any day. Barbados is a fun suit that, just very satisfying to land hits with, too. I think I like the Lupus more overall just because, Barbados is a 2K and Lupus is a 2.5K, and Lupus just has more shit that you can do. But the base form Barbados, while maybe a little skeletal in both aesthetics and also in movesets, it's still a very formidable melee fighter in its own right, and in capable hands can do a very good job playing that back roll. It's very interesting playing the lower cost melee suits in this game because you I know I say this a lot when I'm talking about like lower cost suits, but you really do need to pick your battles, and I think something I learned here with Barbados is just trying to figure out when I can go in. In this case though, actually I'm playing with a Ifrit, which is the lowest of the low-cost melee suits. Ifrit is a very, very fun suit to play. It can really just, it's very much so a death by 1,000 cuts type melee suit. It's very agile, it can go in hard, its melee combos last a ridiculous amount of time, it has a very cool meter mechanic, with like a special mode that it can go into, that it's a very scary suit in capable hands. The only problem is that when left to its own devices, sometimes it can be hard for it to get in. Especially against higher cost suits and all that, but my partner seems to be doing a pretty good job here, so I trust them to work it out, but I should probably be fronting for them a little bit better than I am right now, and kind of leaving them off on their own a little bit. See, yeah, I think I was confused earlier. I was talking about, I couldn't remember if Lupus had a assist or not. I think I was confused because Barbados definitely has a assist, so that upward swing with the mace is so much fun. And also, this exchange was very goofy. Just trying to super one another, or whatever. Or not super one another, but go in on one another. And I was able to rainbow step the enemy's super there and going for the attack, but the Ifrit managed to win us the game before I could really capitalize off of it. But that was really sick. See, that was a pretty good match, too. take a shot. I know I'm going to say it again, but I should probably go back and try out the Barbados a bit more. It's a very tricky suit to play right, but once you get in the flow of it, it feels very rewarding to land hits with. I really like all the renditions of the Barbados in this game. I don't know if I like Lupus or Lupus Rex more in this game, actually. Design-wise, the Lupus is my favorite form for sure, but gameplay-wise, I think I might like the Lupus Rex just a little bit more than the Lupus, because you can do some really ridiculous stuff. And then, after all the fun I had with the melee stuff, melee suits and stuff like that, I decided to go back to a little bit more of an all-rounder suit that still has a very good close-range capability. I remember I distinctly looked up, like, what's a good suit, like, what's a good 3K cost suit that I could play that I could do Fighting Burst with, and maybe go in, but still kind of have some mid-range capability. And I found that the Sazabi's melee capabilities are actually very powerful, but you still have plenty of tools and assists and stuff to work with, and just overall skills that will let you excel at mid-range play as well. So, I should have been going in further here. I was backing up because I was trying to be cool and charge up the big nuclear blast thing there. I don't remember the proper name for that. The ridiculous funnel missile thing that just blows up a huge part of the screen. That's one thing that the Sazabi low-key has that I guess it's not low-key at all. Look at that explosion. But the Sazabi is like a all-rounder suit that has a very good like melee type moveset to it, but then also to it has those two moves that you have very limited usage of, but you can just cover the screen in explosions, and it's very satisfying. I love this Sazabi super so much. It's such a funny little nod to the movie it's from. Very fitting of Char. I think it's pretty cool too how the you know, because the new Gundam and the high new Gundam, at least from my personal experience, they play fairly similarly. Like, there's definitely differences, don't get me wrong. But I like the different play styles of the Sazabi versus the Nightingale. The Nightingale is very much so more a suit you need to play at range, and Sazabi's all about going in, where I feel is maybe that difference is kind of there with New Gundam and High New Gundam a bit. Like, I feel like the New Gundam is a little more oriented for melee play than the High New, but even then, I feel like they still kind of occupy the same space. I really like that the I don't know, the developers of MBON just do a really good job of giving you a variety of suits to play with, and really figuring out where all of these suits should fit in the overall roster in terms of what role they should play and what type of gameplay experience they should provide. They just do a very good job of that. And you can see there, Sazabi still has a cool big beam attack and all that fun stuff. You don't gotta always go in with the sword all the time. Taking pot shots here, trying to get the beam. Using my funnels. Probably should have went for a attack, yeah, melee attack there instead of the shot. I was probably trying to intercept the enemy. Pretty sure that Axis drop was, unfortunately it hit my partner too, but did a pretty good number on the Exia, and I'm pretty sure I got that kill, so that was cool. I think I accidentally killed my partner there with that one, so not great. Fortunately, partner spawned in and was able to finish up my mess and get crossbowed, so that was good. So, something that I failed to point out in these matches, but I definitely noticed throughout the video, is that I have, at this point in my MBON career, I was very bad at finishing my plate, if that made sense. Like, I would get an enemy really close to death, and, you know, get them knocked down, but then I would, for whatever reason, decide to, I don't know if maybe it was just me thinking, like, oh, the enemy's invulnerable now, I should focus on the other enemy instead, and not finishing my plate and trying to, you know, capitalize on the fact that the enemy was knocked down and get the kill, you know, follow through. But I was really bad at that at this point in my MBON, you know, player experience. I was going to make another frog metaphor, but I decided against it. I don't know why I have frogs on the mind all of a sudden. It's kind of weird. I think I need to talk to a therapist about that. So the enemy here is playing a dual 3K team, which usually I see that and I start to rub my hands and smirk like a maniacal villain from a Saturday morning cartoon, because I know that means that if we're able to dunk on them, you know, we'll be able to clean the match out pretty fast. But they've actually been doing a pretty good job of taking us out first, so this is going to be a war of attrition, and hopefully we can do enough damage to both of these. Luckily, Reborn's is close to death, and after Reborn's dies, we can focus on Wing and finish out the round here. Yeah, it's easy to take dual 3K teams lightly, because when you get a good flow going against them, you can end the match very quickly, but sometimes when they get the ball rolling, it can be hard to fight against those teams. But luckily, I was able to dunk on them with the good old Axis drop. What more could you possibly ask for to end the video out? So yeah, I'll see you next time with some more Newtype Netplay.
持たん時が来ているのだ。当たれ。